Hello everyone, and welcome to my Dragon Ball Super Episode 100 review. For my review, I will talk about the following categories. Enjoy the video. So what I liked about this episode, I enjoyed Goku's and Caulifla's interaction in the episode. I liked how Goku countered Caulifla's headstrong ways with basically saying, no, you're not ready for Super Saiyan Blue and you haven't even mastered the previous forms. Also, I don't have any problems with her attaining Super Saiyan or Super Saiyan 2. 1, she's a prodigy. 2, we haven't seen what kind of training she has done. And 3, it is clear that she has more than enough ki to turn Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan 2. I understand those who are upset with the decision, especially with the whole tingly back thing, but for me personally, I don't really have a problem with it. Her getting Super Saiyan 3 would be the tipping point for me, because for Goku to get that form originally, he had to go through a very special set of conditions. One of those being dead, and thus having tons more stamina than whenever he was alive. But if she were to do Super Saiyan 3 after a lot of training, I wouldn't have a problem with that. It's just for me, Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan 2, Gohan was a kid whenever he did attain Super Saiyan 2, and he isn't a prodigy or anything. But on to what I did not like about this episode, and boy, oh boy, did it practically ruin the episode for me. Kale. No, I don't have a problem with the fact that she was pushing back Super Saiyan Blue Goku. What I do have a problem with is that Kale is a worse character than Broly, and Broly is already one of my least favorite anime characters ever. There is nothing, and I mean nothing, redeemable about Kale as a character. With Broly, at least there was some effort put for him to have some layers to his character. There is no backstory at all to make us sympathize with her. What is supposed to make me like her as a character? I mean, I didn't like Broly, but his backstory with King Vegeta wanting him dead, and his father disowning him, was at least a little bit of effort in attempt to have us be sympathetic. With Kale, it's just jealousy which makes her transform, and it's not even a transformation to a form with an interesting personality. All she is one big homage to Broly. So many scenes from movie 8 are shamelessly recreated. Seriously, just replace Kakarot with Son Goku, and she is literally female Broly. And like I was saying, we haven't seen anything redeemable about Kale. Because all we've seen is that she's timid, passive-aggressive, and jealous. But why is she that way? If you're going to present these really flawed character traits in a character that we're supposed to be invested in, can we at least get a little bit of backstory to see why she's that way? Okay, rant over. So for the story and pacing, this was a Caulifla and Kale episode for sure. The pacing was actually really good for this episode. We got enough of Caulifla and Kale for this episode for sure. So anyone who has needed a fix for the Universe 6 Saiyans, I'm sure they're satisfied. So for the visuals and audio, this episode was all over the place in artwork. Some shots looked really great, and then there were some that looked really bad, like episode 5 bad. It's hard to overlook all the recreated shots from movie 8, kinda one of the reasons why I didn't like this episode, but the soundtrack was at least pretty good. So for the character utilization, I already went into what I thought about Caulifla, Kale, and Goku, but Hit had a couple of great scenes. With him time skipping and taking out that robot, and utilizing the time skip to save Caulifla, Universe 4 might be the next universe out like I was theorizing, especially with Base Kaba easily knocking out 2 members, with one of them supposedly being the strongest. The Botamo-Magetta fusion was just as awesome as the last episode, and they are quite the defensive tank. God, I love them. I hope that they stay in for a long time. So, for my overall rating, I will give this episode a 2 out of 5. This episode narrowly made it to this rating for me. I had experienced the bulk of my frustration for Kale in my episode 93 review, and I enjoyed at least the first half of episode 100, whereas I did not like 93 almost from start to finish. This episode was a mixed bag for me, and I am a little disappointed Jiren didn't knock out Kale like what was originally speculated. I'm sure it's easier for those who like the episode as a whole. But next week it looks like 17 and 18 are teaming up, while Goku and Vegeta are doing their own thing. But those are my thoughts on episode 100 of Dragon Ball Super. I already know I'm going to enjoy next week's episode a lot more than this week's. But let me know what you thought of episode 100 in the comments section below, and any theories of what may happen in episode 100. And with that, thank you for watching everyone, and have a great day.